And we're live. Hello, hello, welcome. Welcome to Restart Business. This is a weekly live learning program powered by Project Ripple, aimed to discuss how industries can build a new reality. Now, before we begin, allow me to introduce myself. So, hello, I'm Antoinette Aquino. I am a financial advisor. I'm the founder of Money Health Check and your host for today's webinar. So, today we are officially ending the School of Profit series here on Restart Business. So, if you didn't catch our last episode, we talked about how it would mean to manage your financial portfolio. So, we talked about the risk assessment, embracing the risks that come with investments in order to keep gaining wealth. Okay, so if you're not familiar with the School of Profit series, it's a four-part series here on Restart Business, where we walk you through the ins and the outs of basic retail stock market trading so you can start growing your wealth. So, our previous three episodes are available on the official Project Ripple Facebook page with links to those episodes. So, punta lang po kayo sa Facebook page, go to the comment section, and there you'll be able to see in the pinned comment. So, now that we've got the introduction going, let's get on with the show. So, in the age of memes, of NFTs, of cryptocurrencies, the biggest question here is, what does the future of retail investing and stock trading hold? And that is the topic for today's webinar. So, you may be familiar with the start of this crazy year called 2021. No? Ang dami nangyari. But there was one issue that really made it to a lot of news, nag-trending sa TikTok, sa YouTube, sa Facebook community groups, and that is the stock of an American retail trading company called GameStop. So they suddenly, ballooned through a lot of efforts, and of course, ang daming traders then on the internet that really opposed the idea of multi-million dollar hedge funds, or called shorting in the company stock. So if you're not familiar with how shorting works, if it's the first time you've heard it, don't worry, because we've got a video to enlighten you. So cue on the video.
Say you own a share of an apple tree, one apple, and you're happy to lend it to me in exchange for some commission or interest. The value of this apple on the open market is £10, but I think that's going to go down in the next few days. So I immediately sell the apple for £10 and I've made £10. Brilliant, but I still owe you an apple. So in a few days' time, when the price has fallen to £5, I buy an apple back and return it to you with an interest payment, and I've made a nice profit. Now, usually there'd be a third-party broker involved in all this, but this is the basic principle.
Okay, so ideally, the hedge funds buying game stocks would have turned a profit, because of the company's declining value. To simply put it, GameStop was quite a traditional game store. But then more and more people started shifting to buying games in the marketplace, no? But instead, a lot of the users in the internet decided to increase the value of GameStop, and then eventually forced all of these multi-million dollar hedge funds to operate at a loss. Diba? So that's a gist of the issue. But of course, we'll be able to learn more from our panelists here. So again, I'm super excited to have all of you here tuned in. I'm excited about all the amazing conversations we're going to be having today. And we are also giving away 25,000 pesos to our lucky winner. All thanks to 2Trade Asia for sponsoring this event. So this is all that you have to do. First, like and follow Project Ripple and 2Trade Asia's Facebook page. Okay. Second step is to share this live to your public timeline. So it has to be an account under your name, huh? And then third, register by clicking the link in the comment section. So again, like and follow Ripple and 2Trade Asia's Facebook page, share this live, and then register. Okay, so the link will only be active during the show, and the winners will be announced at 2Trade Asia's Facebook page. So be sure to stay until the end of this event so that we can announce the winners to all of you. Diba? Who knows? You might be the lucky winner today. Okay, now on to the most awaited part of this event. Okay, let's bring in our guests out here today so we can figure out exactly how GameStop became one of the hottest commodities on Wall Street and what it means for the future. Okay, so our first speaker here today, it's not a new face, so he is a regular on the show. He is the head of the Market Education Department for the Philippine Stock Exchange Corporation. So let's all welcome John Garcia. Yeah. So our second speaker here is a woman in finance, diba? So it's always, good to see another woman here also in one of the panelists. So she is a sales trader, the dealer and head technical strategist for international markets with Two Trade Asia. So here to discuss everything about retail trading, we have Mariah Cruz. Okay, and our last speaker today. Okay, so he is also a crowd favorite here. It is with such great honor to introduce Gilbert Lazaro, aka Tito Vlogs. He is a YouTuber and a finance content creator. So let's all welcome our speakers for today's live stream. Hello. Ayan.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon to
Hi.
all of you. Thank you so much for joining us, Mariah, Tito G, and John. Okay. Now, anything you'd like to say to our viewers today just to get this show started? So, siguro, Mariah, you can start first, followed by Gilbert and then John.
Okay. So there is so much happening in the world of investments right now. That's why I really, really appreciate financial literacy or talks just like this one, because at the end of the day, we have to educate our fellow Filipinos. Actually, recently I just read an article from the PSE stating that we're already at 1.27% in terms of investing public in the investing public. But the problem is 1.27% is not enough. So it is exactly programs like this that push things forward, and I hope you guys will be able to learn something from all of us.
Great. We're excited to learn from you, Maria. How about you, Gilbert?
Hello and good afternoon sa lahat po ng nanonood ngayong hapon na to. Excited to be here to share yung mga natutunan natin sa PSE and very timely topic for today dahil kailangan talaga ng mga retail investors ng education about kung ano na nangyayari sa stock market. Nakakatuwa no kasi in the last few weeks no dumadami na yung volume ng na traded na share sa Philippine stock market. So very timely itong episode na to.
I agree with you. And John?
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Antoinette. Hi, Mariah. And of course, it's nice to be back here with Tito G. I'm just so excited and so hyped to be in the show. And we have a very interesting topic. And I look forward to an interesting discussion later on in the hour. So,
All right. So you can tell how, fortunate we are to be joined by such great speakers, no? So let's get the ball rolling and start off with our first hot takes question. Okay, so this is for our panelists here today. When it comes to retail trading, do you prefer being in full control or being assisted? Okay, so do you prefer being in full control or being assisted? Let's start off with Mariah.
Personally, I think it's because na rin dun sa nature of my work. So, hindi ko afford na hindi maging in control. So, also full disclosure, even before I started in the local markets, I've been trading for quite a long time in the international markets. And during that time, hindi pa masyado ka-well accepted yung international trading locally. Kasi parang when I was asking around during the time when I was younger, when I was trading it, parang paano gawin to? What do you mean by margin, 'di ba? So what are pairs? So during that time hindi pa talaga. So basically right now as a stockbroker, especially as a dealer, I have to be in full control kasi we are not judged by our emotions or how well we handle a situation. We are judged by the numbers. Would you believe it na sometimes when they are computing our performance hanggang fourth decimal place. So talagang in between full control or guided, I have to be really, really independent.
I love that. We are not judged by not our emotions, but by our numbers. How about you, Gilbert? What's your answer for this question?
Ako, I prefer to be in full control after 14 years in trading the Philippine stock market, no? Siyempre, when I was starting, gusto natin may nagga-guide sa atin. But ngayon po, after nung experience natin, we want to be in full control dun sa mga decisions na ginagawa natin para ma-apply natin yung mga lessons and na mga natutunan natin dun sa dito sa stock market.
Mhm. Okay, okay. So grabe 14 years of experience din. So it explains why, you would prefer navigating on your own. How about you, John? Do you prefer being full control or being assisted?
Okay, wala nang mention sa number of years, but I prefer being instead. Being kasi
Hindi naman
as a working
mahalata.
profession, as a working, salamat, thank you, thank you. As a working professional kasi 'di ba, you're busy within the day, so you may not have time to monitor your portfolio, and I think a lot of our viewers can relate, no? So for those that are busy, you may want to have that service na merong someone monitoring your portfolio for you. Pero kahit hindi ka naman say quote unquote full control because it's not online, you at the end of the day you are in full control because you make the decisions. You just have someone sort of guiding you, reminding you about your portfolio and how it's going. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay, okay. So mix of both, but at the end of the day, you're still in full control of your own decisions. Okay, so thank you for all of your answers. I'm ready to learn more from you, and I'm sure our viewers are too as well. But let's dive deeper into the issues and get right into the discussion in a segment that we call the slant. Okay, so here we'll be giving you questions to talk about the issues even further. Now, our first question. Okay, so let's get right into the topic and the issue of the whole GameStop uh, experience, no? Diba? In the simplest of terms, it's very difficult to understand what happened, and maybe not a lot of people are familiar with it. They might have heard of the whole issue, but then don't really know what's going on. So in the simplest way, okay, the simplest terms, how can you explain what exactly happened with the GameStop issue? So I guess we can start with Tito G.
Well, yung GameStop issue, ang ganda ng ginawa niya sa awareness, no, ng mga retail investors sa stock market. Kasi natuto yung mga tao, uy, meron palang stock market, number one, no? Number two, pwede pala kaming kumita kahit na kami mga retailers, no, sa stock market. So naging aware tayo na pwede tayong sumabak sa stock market. Yun ang maganda. Ngayon, ang kagandahan din dahil doon sa issue sa GameStop issue na yon, yung mga hedge funds, no, na kilalang mga big boys dito sa industry na to, medyo natapik din sila, no? Medyo parang, hoy, teka muna, mukhang merong pwede kaming ma-squeeze dito, pwede kaming maipit din dito dahil dito sa rise ng mga retail traders. So it's an awakening for not just for the retail traders but also for the hedge funds.
Right, right. I love that. So it was trending too. So it made a lot of people curious about what's going on. Ano nga ba yung GameStop? Ano nga ba tong stock market? Okay, but how about you, John Garcia? Maybe you can enlighten us more about exactly why it became such a big fuss among retail traders, investors, and also the people who are just watching on the sidelines.
Okay, so at first, let's take a step back. Why do people invest? So at the basic, you invest because you bet on a particular security, a particular stock, believing in its value, natataas siya. That's the straightforward approach of investing. Now, in other markets, meron tinatawag na shorting. Yung shorting naman is yung katulad sinabi sa video kanina, you're expecting the price of a particular stock to go down in the foreseeable future. So ang gagawin mo, you're going to bet against it. So bebenta mo na ngayon, and then when it goes down, bibilin mo. So in the markets like sa US, the shorting is a common practice, especially for institutional investors, just like the hedge funds. So ang storya with the GameStop, merong mga hedge funds that believe that GameStop as a company will go down in value because bumababa ang revenues niya. Fundamentally speaking, bumababa ang revenues niya, hindi na ganun kalakas ang sales ng company na to. And in the following year, napapasok around that time, they were expecting na the company will not perform as well. So what they did is they betted against GameStop. So they shorted GameStop. GameStop sa madaling salita. Now, what happened was during that time, no, it was a pandemic, no, November yan nung nangyari last year, and a lot of people naka-lockdown sila sa US. So syempre nasa bahay, work from home, maraming free time. So yung mga free time na to nagamit ng mga tao to go around social media. And a lot of forums, a lot of groups that talk about the market. So dito nagkaroon ng generate ng mga ideas about kung anong mga pwedeng mangyari in the Wall Street, no, in the Wall Street market. So nagkaroon ng some sort of force to say na okay, may mga stocks na issue short. But if we are in numbers, kasi we're talking about over 6 million people, retail investors. Now, if we are in numbers and we go against the big boys, we may be able to push the stock up and make money, after the entire exercise. So that's actually what happened. So there are some funds, no, mga hedge funds that betted against GameStop, shinort nila, pero ang nangyari, instead of bumaba yung presyo, tumaas yung presyo kasi may mga retail investors that kept on buying the stock. So yun yung sinabi kanina ni Tito G na squeeze, na ipit yung mga hedge funds na naka-short doon sa GameStop na stock. So that is basically what happened. So with the retail investors in number, kahit maliliit lang sila, because ang dami nila, they were able to outplay the hedge funds. And ang naging resulta, a lot of people made money, a lot of retail investors made money in that trade at the expense of who? The hedge funds.
Interesting. So what I understood was maybe majority, or I would say 90% of the stockholders were betting against GameStop, thinking that the price will go down. But a community, a Reddit community, took advantage of this and actually tried to leverage, which was like a perfect scenario for the stock to actually skyrocket. Now, Mariah, what are your thoughts on this? How was this even possible, no? And how did social media or Reddit in general really play a role in boosting the price of the stock?
Okay. So in answering that question, I have to go over certain points. So first and foremost, if I'm going to summarize the entire saga, I would summarize it as this. It would be the anti-establishment crusade of predominantly retailers. So basically, kasi parang there are two sides to the story. Just like what John mentioned a while ago. Sa establishment side, however, there are more players that are included there. So aside from the big funds, the hedgies, or the retailers, they call them whales, sa side na to, sinasama na din yung brokers like yung Robinhood who even facilitated yung trades. Kasi di ba, Robinhood is a retail trading platform. On the other side, we have the retailers. And the common misconception in this case is that all of them are retailers. But basically, they are not. May kasama dun sa mga group that are not retailers. Somehow, medyo may malaki silang funds. They are congregating towards that group. Kasi talagang lumalaki yun eh. So, nung nag-start, I think, a friend invited me dun sa group na yun, dun sa subreddit na yun before. So, before, we were talking about 1 million, upwards. So, malaki na yung 2 million. Pero during the saga, what happened was, we're talking about 11 million people talking about GameStop already. So what is GameStop? So we could talk about the technicalities, the price even. Later on, we can pull up the stock chart later on. Pero I would like to elucidate on the sentiment side. What is GameStop, by the way? So I would have to appeal to my fellow gamers here. GameStop is like your data blitz, di ba? For those na mga kasama kong pinanganak in the 90s, so from Atari, Nintendo, PlayStation, if you want discs to play, you go there. If you want like PC softwares to play and games then, you have to go there. Kaya lang kasi ang nangyari, it is also understandable why the fundies I have to discuss this para at least clear yung both sides. Why they wanted to short it. Kasi una, heavy on the brick and mortar kasi ang GameStop, meaning mas marami silang stores. Though they have online presence, yung ano nila, mas kilala sila dun sa physical side of things. And if also I'm going to go back to my gamer mode, alam naman natin na may Twitch na and Steam na right now. So you don't need to buy the CD, you don't need to go there, you don't need to go online to buy your games. You can just download it there. At saka, it's cheaper online. Kaya yun din talaga yung reason, and it's reasonable why they think like that. Kaya lang, again, I'm going to go back to my original idea na the reason why the retailers wanted to top them out, like to short squeeze them as they are called, yung parang i-abandon nila yung short position nila para at least ipaglaban yung paniniwala nila that GameStop is more than what they believe it is. Kasi it is their childhood eh. Tsaka, how can I say this? Parang ang nangyayari, it has always been an institutional versus retailer thing. Tapos dadagdagan mo pa na, why are you shorting something that is very dear to us? Kaya kung makikita nyo talaga yung discussion dun sa subreddit na yon, it's really, really, talagang mainit. Actually, hindi lang sa subreddit even in Discord, it's pinging on Discord as well. So the question I would like to ask to answer your second question, wherein mangyayari ba siya possibly here in the Philippines? The first answer would be it is impossible right now kasi ngayon wala pa tayong shorting. So, wala pang shorting here in the Philippines. And second, based on my experience, first as a retailer, and then second as an institutional stockbroker, usually retailers here follow the money. As in, retailers sometimes move heaven and earth. They talk over social media as a way by which they're going to exchange their ideas, ganon, on what the instis are doing. Like, may mga discussions pa nga, oh, tapos na ba magbenta si ganyan, ng ganitong stock, pwede na ba kaming pumasok? So, in shorter terms, they follow the money. So, I don't think that this case can be replicated here, strictly speaking, even in the advent
Right.
of social media.
Right, right. So basically, it's difficult for that to happen currently because we don't have a short selling facility here in the Philippines. But you've also mentioned that there are two sides to the story, no? And a lot of it is really driven by investment behavior. So do you think this is something bad? Is this a bad thing, something negative? Because again, it's a competition between retail investors and then also institutional investors. What do you have to say about that, John?
I don't think it's a bad thing, it's a free market, so everyone can act as they please, no. So if the retail investors believe that say a particular stock will go up, so what stops them from from keeping on buying that stock, 'di ba? So wala naman mali doon. Now, yun nga lang, as for the possibility of say retail investors overpowering yung mga institutional investors, looking at the numbers, baka hindi pa ganun ka-realistic. Meron ako yung as of end August 2021, yung daily average turnover natin sa PSE nasa mga 35% doon represented by retail investors. That's already significant, pero still not the majority. So say if you have head-to-head, retail and institutional investors trading sa isang particular stock, let's just simplify things kasi there are 270 plus listed companies at the PSE. Pero sabihin na lang natin isa lang yung stock and you just have retail versus institutional. With that number, 35% out of as compared to the majority ng institutional. Of course, walang laban ng retail. Pero spread out mo. 270 plus companies. Tapos ayan na. You have retail investors focusing on a particular stock. Of course, with that level of demand, they can always drive it up. Is it bad? Not really. Pero if you're a retail investor, you just have to keep on thinking. Yung bang pagtaas ng stock na yon is tama? Does it have fundamentals behind it? Or is it all market sentiment? Is it all demand-driven? At wala naman palang laman yung pagtaas ng stock na yon. So you just have to be very careful on how things are going.
Right. Right. So we also have to really take a look at the fundamentals of the stock. And speaking of fundamentals, a lot of I guess the issue really gave rise to what we call meme stocks. It's not just evident in the stock market, but also in the crypto space. Diba? And do you think this is similar to what we call basura stocks? So Tito G, since you have 14 years of experience, and then what are your thoughts? Do you think it meme stocks would equate to mga basura stocks, or are they entirely different?
Well, pwede nating i-equate yan doon sa mga penny stocks or basura stocks dito sa PSE, yung mga meme stocks. Kasi nga, as mentioned no, by Miss Mariah, ito yung brick and mortar pa sila GameStop, pero digital na tayo ngayon. Ano? So, the value of the stock is really, the growth of the stock is really not that good na yung outlook. No? So, similar to the small ones na maliliit na yung iba hindi pa nag-ooperate or hindi na nag-ooperate, no, or may mga inaayos pa. So yung mga penny stocks na yan, probably we can call it yung mga meme stocks, no, which nakita rin natin dito sa PSE na nagiging crowd favorite din, no, kasi nga dito sa PSE may perception na kapag ka mura sentimo yung presyo nung stock, syempre, yung mga retailers, ay, mura yan. Diyan lang ako. Marami kasi akong mabibili na shares eh. Tapos, makikita mo sa social media, papakalatin nila yan, no? At maraming magpo-post about the stock, and then magkakaroon ng analysis about that stock. So, nagkakaroon ng nagbi-build up yung hype dun sa stocks na yon. And at some point, yung the other retail investors na wala pa dun sa particular stock na yon papasok. So kaya tumutulak yung presyo pataas, no? Similar doon sa nangyari doon sa GameStop. So I think we can say na meme yung basura stock.
If I may add,
Go ahead.
yeah, of course. No, kasi depende din sa direction ng market. Kasi right now we're coming from a low base, nagkaroon ng crash last year. So kung titignan mo, Antoinette, no, and I'm sure si Mariah and Gilbert will agree, yung mga may activity ngayon are actually good stocks. These are stocks of value kasi sila na yung trading at a bargain kasi bumaba yung mga presyo nila eh. So you're seeing blue chip stocks that are actively traded. Even stocks na hindi members ng index pero of quality, of value, no, yung mga second liners, they're also trading, they're also active. Now, kapag itong mga quote unquote basura stocks or the penny stocks na pag yan ang nagsisimulang gumalaw, it's actually a sign that also the market might be shifting from a bullish to a bearish kasi yung mga of value na nandun na tumaas na yung presyo so the traders are looking at other opportunities. Now, is it bad to have these penny stocks in the market? Or we may even ask the question, bakit inalaw ng PSE na magkaroon ng quote-unquote basura stocks in the market? But the reality is, when they listed, hindi naman sila basura They're all companies of value. Dumaan yan sa listing requirements, sa review and everything. Kaya lang, over time, businesses change. So some businesses, they are so relevant before, sobrang sikat ng model nila, and then eventually, over time, to technology, hindi sila nag-progress, napag-iwanan sila, but they still remain listed because they still continue to comply. Yan yung mga stocks na hindi na masyadong traded, bumababa ang price, and hence, nagiging penny stocks, nagiging basura stocks. So, for the investors, merong opportunity, pero really, you have to be very, very careful kasi napakabilis. It's a quick trade. I don't really see historically na penny stocks changing directions unless nagbago yung business behind the penny stock. Either na backdoor list yan, binili ng ibang company, nag-restructure. So that's a different story altogether.
Right. So there is an opportunity to make money from penny stocks, but it's very important that we also, you practice risk management and of course, also do our research, especially with the fundamentals of the company. Miss Mariah, I believe you have more to add to that, so you can enlighten us exactly. Ano nga ba yung fine line din between meme stocks and penny stocks? What do you have to say about that, Mariah?
Okay, as for me naman, I believe that they are different. So for me, ang meme stocks, they have two things na wala yung basura. Like in our Philippine context. The first would be, sa meme stocks, may loyal following. So if you were going to look at the social media post, even yung mga groups that participated in the fiasco, they're really loyal to the stock up until now. I think if you're going to look at the chart of GameStop, medyo nagko-consolidate lang siya, pero you know that the support is still there. That's the first one. And then the second thing is that yung stock somehow may laman, somehow may operation, somehow something's there. It's just that tama si Sir John and si Sir Gilbert when they said na it's just that nahihirapan si GameStop lumaban sa changing times. I mean, with technology keep on moving forward, nahihirapan talaga siya. So, aware as if I'm going to compare it sa basura stocks, pero usually, sometimes, most of the times, I prohibit myself from using the term. Kasi parang kawawa naman. They're still stocks, they're still listed. I agree with Sir John. They had their lives before. Sometimes I call them cutely as speculative stocks, ganon. For me naman, ang speculative stocks, una, wala siyang masyadong following. Parang, okay, gusto kita ngayon, flavor of the month kita tomorrow, bye-bye ka na sa akin. Tapos second, yung mga stocks na to, predominantly wala silang operations. I think I have certain slides, if I can show them a bit, if it's all right,
Yes, please. Go ahead.
para I can operationalize the entire concept further. So, thank you guys. So right now we're looking at my concept of a basura stock, which is Abra Mining Industrial Corporation. So kung isa-summarize ko yung context ng stock na to, it would be a high-flying stock clipped by suspension. So no, for the longest time, as you can see in the chart, walang nangyayari, right? It's just flat. Like parang, it's a range trade na you cannot even trade the range kasi napaka-tight ng range. You won't even earn in that range. Tapos ang nangyari, lumipad siya. Can you see the three triangles there, yung sa unang arrow? So, ginustify yan ng mga retailers as hindi tumataas kasi yung commodity prices kaya kumikita si AR. But how can that happen if they are not operational? So, fast forward, we know that they are not operational. They're not turning in profit. Ang nangyari is that on a Friday, guys, on a Friday, January 15th, nagsiling siya. Ako, I mean, personally, I think it's something that is true din for most guys. Hindi ako panatag kapag chupita yung stock tapos iniiwan ko siya ng weekend. Parang feeling ko, oh my gosh, baka may lumabas na balita ng weekend na hindi maganda tapos maiwan siya sa akin. Tapos ito nangyari to guys, again, it's a Friday, a Monday, and the Tuesday. So talagang makakita nyo with the gaps there on the chart, talagang pinupush to ng retail. Talagang they really like it. Up to such point na they are rationalizing the irrational na. So why did I say clip by suspension? To cut the story short, na-suspend yung stock not because of the share price movement, but because of something that a bit technical, but I'm going to discuss it in a one-liner that I hope all of you will be able to understand in the simplest way possible. Let's say that the regulators allowed all of us to trade AR na 100 shares lang. Ang nangyari, nagising na lang yung regulators mo, guys, bakit may 200 na? Saan galing yung additional 100? So, hindi nakapag-explain si company, of course, sa regulators, in order to protect the interests of the retailers, they have to put suspension. That's the reason why. So, it's not about the share price. It's about, guys, saan galing yung additional. Alam niyo naman, hindi nanganganak yung stocks out of thin air, right? So, now let us move on to the next one. I think the next one is a crowd favorite. Ito, everybody loves this stock. So, if we may proceed to detail, please. So, we have dito CME Holdings Corp. Ito, hindi ko na kailangan i-discuss yung mga nangyari dito kasi I'm pretty sure. Kanina, while I was, internalizing what I'm gonna say today, nag-stock ako sa mga groups na dito, guys. Umaabot sila ng 100,000, 50,000. Yun yung sinasabi ko kanina na more than a basura stock, it is a meme. Like, people believe in it. People really wanted to do something about it kasi it is not something that is empty. We have to remember that dito is a telco company. So, at the end of the day, hindi man siya ganun ka-operational ngayon, pero guys, ang telco naman kasi na industry, hindi mo pwede sabihin na, uy, gusto ko gumawa ng telco today, bukas, meron na tayong mga infrastructure. It's not that easy. At saka you have to remember on the technical side of things, on the behavioral psychology of things, this was born out of the third telco saga of 2018. People, I mean, across the board here in the Philippines, we're tired of the usual suspects. Choppy yung internet, problematic, hindi makakonect. So, when the government announced na, uy, i-open namin yung third spot para para mabuwag yung duopoly, so as to speak about it, ang nangyari, na-excite yung mga tao, and you cannot blame them. Kasi syempre, they're tired, they want another avenue by which they can maximize technology, and you cannot maximize technology with problematic internet. So, lumabas si dito. Sa akin, meme siya kasi may laman siya. It is not an empty stock. It is an ongoing story. So yung sa last naman, if we can proceed to the last chart, ito naman yung operationalization ng concept ni Sir John a while ago. Ito yung mga stock na talagang stable, yung may story, yung talagang alam mo na talagang may laman. If I'm going to summarize the entire story of Asen, from the start up until this point on, I will label it as a futuristic vision turned into reality. Ito yung stock na hindi napapagod mag-disclose, uy, may acquisition kami sa ganyan, uy, may acquisition kami sa ganyan. Parang hindi sila naubusan na acquisition, guys. Kaya hindi ko malalagyan ng dot yung story na to. Kasi talagang tuloy-tuloy lang talaga yung story niya. Meron siyang vision on where it wants to go, and it knows how to get there. Yan ang difference ng mga stocks like this. Kaya, summary, for me, basura is different from meme, pero compared to stable stock like this, na, by the way guys, plug ko lang yung research namin, ni-recommend niya to at around 2 pesos. Ngayon, trading at around upwards of 11 na. 'Di ba? Ang laki na nung gain during that time from 2 to like 11.84. So yun. So that's what I believe. So, ito yung 3 stocks na 'pag nalilito kayo kung ano ba talaga yung meme, ano yung basura, I hope you remember this stock to operationalize everything.
I love how you mentioned that thinking about maybe futuristic or vision, you labeled ASIN as that type of stock, right? It makes you think that even after 10 years, 20 years, it's still going to be of value, especially to a lot of people. Now, speaking of, how exactly the situation is with a lot of retail investors, what do you have to say about how retail trading will be in the future? Diba? What does this tell you about the future generations of retail stock trading? Maybe we can start with John.
Well, definitely, we see an increase in the participation of retail investors. We've seen it, and we believe that this increase will be sustained. Kasi the market is becoming more and more accessible, Antoinette. No, online trading, even subscription to IPOs and FOOs, pwede na rin gawing online. And more importantly, dumadami yung mga educational programs coming from credible sources na available in social media. Just like this one, the Project Ripple. You guys are doing a great job educating the market and, doing it without any agenda. No, we're not trying to sell anything. We're just, educating the market one webinar at a time. And yan ang yan talaga ang goal investors, even before they or individuals, before they start investing, they need to learn it, and only when they learn it they gain that confidence. And doon ko lang nakikita na, what, when I was in high school, nothing about the stock market. Pero you go to school now, especially the ones that are, woke, yung mga students, they ask the most intelligent questions, especially about the markets, and it's quite fascinating. And 10 to 20 years from now, I'll be, I might be prophetic in saying that from a consumer-driven economy, we are an investment-driven economy.
Great. And speaking of educating the market, Tito G here, of course, is a finance content creator. And I'm not sure if majority ba ng audience mo are Gen Zs or millennials. But what do you have to say about that? I mean, has the trend changed with how, the generation now is trading? What's it like, Tito G?
Siguro, I can say siguro if I started doing my vlog with some 10 years ago, baka walang manonood. Pero with the rise of the retail traders ngayon and the accessibility ng mga materials and the internet connection is also improving, no, ang daming nagkakaroon ng interest sa stock market. Ang nakikita lang natin dito sa Philippines, no, I think we need more of on the side dun sa market education sa level na kung saan makaka-relate yung mga retail traders, especially our OFWs no? Kasi most of my followers, as you ask Miss Antoinette, mix kasi siya pero most are titos and titas. So konti yung mga woke dito dyan Pero mga titos and titas na. Pero alam niyo,
mga millennials,
because we brought the level of education dun sa parang nakikipagkwentuhan, nakatambay lang, no, na whereby we do our charting daily, sinisilip natin, we teach them ano yung support, ano yung resistance, ano ibig sabihin ng mga nababasa nilang technical, no, na masyadong technical sa stock market, hinihimay natin. So nakakababa tayo dun sa level na yon. So I think kung tuloy-tuloy yung mga programs na ganito and yung mga efforts nila Sir John sa market education, mas maraming ma-encourage eh. Ito kailangan you know in the early days ko sa stock trading. Biro mo I was saying this in my vlog eh. Nagtatrabaho ko I'm working in a bank in the year mga 2010 no. Sa bangko ko. Financial na kami pero iilan lang kami nagte-trade. Di ba? So how much more yung mga tao na hindi yun ang industry. Di ba? How much more? So kaya nakakatuwa ngayon dahil sa YouTube, no, sa Facebook, ang dami nag-share ng mga experiences nila sa stock market at ang daming gustong matuto. Sabi nga ni Sir John kanina, ito kasing stock market, nung college tayo, hindi naman tinuro. Ngayon tinuturo na. Pero yung iba takot pa rin sumubok. Yung iba ayaw pa rin nilang i-try yung stock market. 'Di ba? Kahit na tinuro na sa kanila nung college. It is really the experience na masubukan, bumili ng IPO. Diyan ang simula no? Bumili ka ng IPO, subukan mo, and then sunod-sunod na yan. Sunod-sunod na siya, no? Huwag lang titigilan. Of course, there are risks, no? Kaya yun kailangan ipaliwanag din when it comes to investing, no? Yung risk para hindi nadadala, no? Yung term ko, hindi nadadala yung mga retail traders na bago lang, no? As explained, ang ganda ng slide ni Miss Mariah kanina, no? Yung difference ng meme basura and saka ng mga value stocks talaga. And sinabi nga ni Sir John, ngayon ang daming mga stocks talaga ng mga very battered na ang baba ng share price pero ang ganda ng value ng stock, no? So, yung market education dito sa mga retailers, napaka-importante para ma-guide sila doon sa tamang stock na bibili nila based doon sa objective nila, no? Nothing wrong in buying itong mga basura, itong mga meme stocks, no? Nothing wrong. Pero you have to know your objective, 'di ba? Short term ko lang ba 'to? 'Di ba? Ito ba speculative ba 'to? So pag speculative iba diskarte, 'di ba? Pagka value investing iba rin how are you going to buy it, no? Sabi nga natin it is not just what to buy sa stock market but how are you going to buy it, no? So without the proper education, a lot of mga retailers nadadala ang nangyayari sa kanila imbis na let's say bumili ng mga third liners ng mga penny stocks, bumili sa taas, no? Tapos hindi marunong mag-cut loss. Hindi nila alam na highly speculative 'yon, mabilis bababa 'yon, no? So imbis na nagiging stock holder. Nai-stock na sila doon sa stock eh. Hindi na sila makawala, tapos hindi sila marunong mag-cut loss. So it's very important, no, na tuloy-tuloy na gawin yung market education dito sa atin.
I love your point, Tito G, about how you mentioned that it really all goes back to your investment objective, because it's one thing to learn about stocks, trading, investing in general, but it's a completely different experience when you're actually putting your money in the market, getting your feet wet. So with that point being said, this leads me to my second question about the ramifications of an event like GameStop, diba? And as Mariah mentioned earlier, she also mentioned stocks where ang dami talaga naipit. So what are the ramifications of events like these in the stock market? So we can start with Mariah.
Okay. To answer this question, ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, people are investing into the market not because they know what they are doing, but because somebody told them to invest. So going back and continuing what Tito G had mentioned a while ago dun sa dito, the high of dito was actually 19. I can remember that clearly kasi may clients kami talaga nagpipilit. Gusto ko dyan, gusto dyan. Sabi ko, wag po, wag po. Siyempre, that's the best thing we could do. We cannot block their trades. I mean, especially if it's a live order, right? Tapos alam nyo ba, during the high, nung dito at 19, yung market cap niya, 5% away na lang sa average ng PLDT and Globe. ganun kalakas yung sentiment towards the stock. Kaya lang ang problem kasi, yung anong nangyayari, people are investing in it because they know what to do with it, they know what to do with their money, but because FOMO, ito na yung retail terms natin na nag-ano din parang sumikat because of the rise of the retailers fear of missing out. Hoy, bakit sila nasa dito? Bakit ako? Ba't sila may group ako, hindi ako kasali? So ito, it gives rise to the need actually for financial literacy. That's why I agree with what you mentioned, Antoinette. And I also very thankful for Tito G and Sir John, especially yung, let's start with Sir John in relation to financial literacy. Yung PSE Easy, you made our lives easier sa mga brokers. My gosh, yung dati magtatawagan sila, bakit hindi ako nabigyan ng allocation? Ba't ito lang? Ba't 5% lang? Pero ngayon, you want to get an IPO, open an account with PSE Easy, register your details there, connect your broker, tapos they will update you na. You want sa desktop, you want mobile app, they're there. So, you made our lives easier, so thank you for that. And on the side of the education on the side of the retailers, it's not easy to create YouTube videos. We tried it. I
Mm.
was marketing before, I was sales. Oh my gosh. Tapos nung pinapanood sa akin nung marketing namin yung vlogs niyo, Tito G, the effort, the commitment to teach these retailers, if they only know how hard it is. So more than the ramifications, you're actually controlling the risk on the literacy level. Kasi somehow, people here, even you Antoinette, kasi you're also an FA, so nangyayari, we're trying to combat this na misinformation, that there are people like you guys na telling them, oy, huwag ka bibili niyan kasi sinabi ng kapitbahay mo or sinabi ng boyfriend or girlfriend mo. Let's look at it together. That's a different thing. So I don't want to focus on the negative of the discussion regarding dun sa GameStop, but I want to focus on the positive. Especially when we look at the flip side of things, yung 1.27%, ibig sabihin, we can look at the 98% more people, more Filipinos that we can educate. So that's the way I see it.
I highly agree with Maria about how John literally saves lives, because I still remember when I was still quite new in the industry and I was looking on YouTube videos. Of course, besides Tito G, I saw yung video ni John Garcia. I'm not sure if it was a pre-recorded webinar about the basics of stock market. And that actually helped me a lot in making content. So I make content, pero hindi sa YouTube kasi mahirap, as mentioned by Maria. So I do it on TikTok. So I do it on TikTok. And nag-viral siya because a lot of people were actually curious about the stock market, especially after the GameStop issue. Now, since John is also behind that video that saved my life, what do you have to say with that? Yung ramifications then of how it really changed the way people study about the stock market and all of that. Go ahead, John.
Antoinette, first of all, thank you, for watching our videos. We still have a lot to go, in improving the quality of the videos. But it's really about recognizing risks. Tama si Mariah kanina in saying that when people invest now because hindi dahil sa naiintindihan nila yung pinapasok nila, but rather it's like a case of what monkey see, monkey do, so sinusunod nila what the others are doing. Pag may nakita silang nagfe-flex sa social media, ang laki ng kinita ko dito, ay gusto ko rin yan, because how Filipinos are, our culture is we focus on returns, we focus on yields. Mas gusto natin yung quick buck, yung paano tayo kikita dyan, paano ba ako makakasali dyan, without even thinking may risks pala. Yung opportunity ko to make money is also equally important din naman to also understand na I also have that risk of losing the same amount of money. So with this GameStop issue, dito nila nakita na the stock market is always a double-edged sword. Not even the stock market, all markets in general. When someone makes money, another one pays. When someone makes money, another one loses money, and that's how it goes for everyone. Dito papasok yung kasabihan na no such thing as free lunch. Not everyone makes money. I make money, someone else loses. If I lose money, someone else made money, and that's how it works. So how do you keep on making money? Educate yourself.
Okay. Educate yourself to keep making money. And talking about educating yourself, and also about how the issue was the issue happened because a lot of Gen Z and millennials were in on it. So for Tito G, what can you say about the importance of financial literacy, and educating all of these Gen Zs and millennials, your viewers actually, about issues like this?
You know, just last night I was reading in news about financial literacy. That was na feature si BSP Governor Ben Jokno, no, about financial literacy here in the Philippines. No, it's really important, and I think very timely din itong discussion natin today. No, um, importante na yung mga papasok dito sa stock market or any financial investment, no, na naiintindihan nila yung ginagawa nila, no? Kasi anything na hindi mo naiintindihan, you cannot grow it. Okay? Pwedeng, sabi nga ni Sir John, mananalo ka ng isa. Pwede, di ba? Pero but you cannot sustain it eh. So, it is really important na tuloy-tuloy yung education, no? Even me, no? Hanggang ngayon nag-aaral tayo dito sa stock market. Forever student tayo ng stock market eh, no? Hindi natatapos doon, no? Because creating wealth, no? Creating wealth takes time and education. Hindi po pwedeng o sige, bigay ko na lang sa iyo yung pera ko. O bahala ka na diyan ha, 'di ba? So you cannot expect your money to grow exponentially without really having an education, ano? Ngayon, kung hindi ka mag-aaral dito sa stock market, ang nangyayari yung pera na ini-invest mo nagiging tuition fee. Ang tawag namin diyan. So, yung iba dito ang laki na ng binayad na tuition fee, no? But going back do sa GameStop, yung ramification, I think kung ilabababa natin do sa local level, no, yun nangyari. Even yun sa diniscuss kanina ni Miss Mariah about the AR stock, no. Ang daming namulat eh. Alam nyo ang mga Pilipino, o tayo mga as human being, no, hangga't hindi tayo nasasapak, hindi tayo nadadala eh. Hindi tayo natututo, no? Even me in my channel, no, I was telling everyone, oh, do not buy that, do not buy that. Nakita ko na how it moves nung previous bull cycle. Ano to, replay to. but may mga naipit pa rin, 'di ba? So ngayon, because of that experience, as mentioned by Sir John, no, yung experience, magaling talagang teacher 'yan, ano. Ang dami na ngayon very careful bago sila tumaya sa stock market. Inaaral na nila. May laman ba 'to? Ano ba ang growth nito? 'Di ba? Ano ba ang future value nitong stock na 'to? So, I think yung mga Gen Z ngayon, ito exciting eh. No, kasi dati siguro nung time namin ni Sir John, medyo ang hirap humugot sa bulsa ng pang-invest eh. Hindi ka naman makahingi kay mami at daddy, di ba? Ang hirap humugot. But now I think yung mga Gen Z medyo mas maluluwag na sila when it comes dun sa finances. Medyo magtipid lang ng konti sa Starbucks, wag lang masyado, bawasan lang ng konti yung kape kasi nakaka-nervous din yan pag nagte-trade ka ng stocks. I think mas madadagdagan yung kanilang yung mga funds nila to invest, no? So with the right education, their funds can really grow and they will experience life-changing gains dito sa stock market.
Okay, okay. And speaking of life-changing gains, for Mariah, what can you, I would say, advise or siguro recommend to the Gen Zs or and to the millennial investors now, with regards to how they can really leverage that knowledge to make the right investment decisions? Go ahead,
Okay.
Mariah.
So, I will be taking a bit of time here, ha? So, I will be saying it na upfront. So, in discussing financial literacy, usually kasi we're all over the place eh. Ang akala lang natin, you read, you're done. You listen, you're done. But there's so many aspects about it that you have to really put into context. So, if I want to focus more on the way by which we're going to grow financial literacy from the level of the innate. So it is by discussing yung within and without. So without, it is outside of you, and within, it is within your circle. So for me, it is very important to start financial literacy in your homes. Like I remember na the first time I got exposed to investments was through my father. Kasi growing up, even in college, talagang ano ako, aligaga as they call it. Parang hindi ako makapag-focus sa isang task. I want to be all over the place. Like parang gusto ko yung brain ko na i-stretch in all directions. Kaya I think that's the reason why I became a stockbroker as well. I like looking at so many things all at the same time and then rationalizing and putting it into context. Kaya lang ang nangyari was, my father, rather than thinking na, "Uy, naku baka hindi makapag-focus yung anak ko or anong puwedeng mangyari," ang ginawa niya naggupit siya ng clipping ng last traded prices sa Philippine Daily Inquirer. So, ang nangyari was, pauwi kami nun, tapos binigay niya sa'kin na, "You can try this out." So, and then tiningnan ko, "Ano 'to? Bakit ang daming mga parang" it's called codes now, pero when I first saw that paper, yung newspaper clipping, hindi ko alam kung ano siya, 'di ba? So, puro numbers lang and then I started researching and then here comes yung ako na, now that my father is gone and I'm a stockbroker by profession, when I look at the stock market, merong emotional appeal eh. Na somehow it was my father who taught me how to be invested in the market at iba ang appeal ng emotional. Kasi when something comes through the heart, kahit anong gawin mo, kahit anumang pain yung na-experience mo, it will stick. Tapos dagdagan pa natin ng second concept ko from the without, which is the school. So, syempre sinabi ng father ko, "O, ito na, o yan yung mga last traded price, ganyan." And then my lola pitched in, "Oh, you can try money markets too." Kaya ako nagsimula sa international markets. Sa school ko naman natutunan how trading actually works. So, ang nangyari was, I have a professor in economics na pinakita niya talaga sa amin yung dynamics, how the market works. And it's kind of weird kasi I didn't graduate with a business degree. Political science po yung undergrad ko. So, ako parang mas lalong na-reinforce what I learned at home. Tapos nangyari is in-integrate sa school, okay, ready-ready na ako. Pero I mean, I know that I have to learn. And here comes the most important part, financial literacy from within. And my recommendation or advice, itong advice na to, it's not just for the millennials or the Gen Zs, it transcends. Kasi at the level of the self, the within, may 3 levels yan eh. The first is the head eh. You have to know what you are doing. It's the same thing that we've been discussing over and over again since kanina. Do not put in your money into something you do not know. Kaya may nai-scam sometimes eh. You have to know na kahit bali-balik ta rin yung mundo, kaya mong ipaliwanag yan in the simplest way possible, the most technical way possible, kasi inaral mo siya. And then second, at the level of the hands. Siyempre, hindi enough na inaral mo, inalam mo, dapat i-execute mo. Kasi marami akong kilala, like 2 years, 3 years na silang nasa, yung trial trading platform, yung parang takot na takot mag-try. Hindi kasi nalugi yung ganyan ko eh. Dapat, you have to make a judgment call na alam mo na handa ka na, ready ka na, at kaya mong protektahan yung sarili mo sa eventualities ng market, execute your trade. Kasi at the end of the day, kaming mga dito that advising you about your finances or investments, we're not gonna push the button for you. Ikaw ang magte-trade nun para sa sarili mo. And then, the last would be the level of the heart. So, kanina diniscuss ko yung the concept about the home, and for me, my profession strikes really into the deepest wells of my heart. Pero in the heart side, I'm not gonna discuss something emotional. Rather, I'm gonna call you to actually manage it. Kasi now that you know, now that you execute, ang nangyayari, ang kalaban mo na lang sa sarili mo sa investment, especially sa retailers, guys, sarili mo na lang. Yung tipong na-hype ka na, uy, alam ko mali to, alam ko extended na to eh, alam ko na hindi na to dapat itataas, gusto ko, oh my God, nandyan pa, okay, top value turnover for today. So, ang mangyayari, okay, sasali ako. You have to control yourself first. If I'm going to summarize everything that I've said, Tito Vlogs, and then si John, and then Antoinette, we can be here. To Trade Asia, we've been providing the best information, technical analysis. Ako pala yung ghostwriter ng charts ng To Trade Asia, guys, by the way. I've been doing it for 6 years, recommending stocks every single day. Pero no matter how much good the content that we're providing in lieu of financial education, pero kung at the end of the day, you won't put it to heart, nothing will happen. Kasi at the end of the day, everything that we're discussing about here will boil down to you. You are the one who's going to make your chances in the market, not us. So, when it comes to financial literacy, wala na kayong excuse. Everything is free. Everything is accessible. Just have the head, the hand, and the heart routine, and you'll be okay.
Grabe na, parang mic drop after
Yeah.
after that whole speech about how you should. I love that you have to use your head, but even you have the level of knowledge. Kailangan you have to take action with your hands and connect it then with your heart. So thank you for that Miss Mariah. So let's cap off this segment with John explaining, how, brokerage platforms like To Trade Asia can position themselves to meet the rise of other investment markets. Syempre, nakahype na din yung crypto market and of course NFTs. So how exactly can brokerages like To Trade platform position themselves?
Well, they can keep on improving their services. Ganun yan eh. Because at the end of the day, no, it's not a battle of fees. Lahat sila pare-parehas na yung fees eh. But it's a battle of value add. Who's giving more value to their clients? Who's giving the most services to their clients? Ano? You can look at accessibility. Sino ba may pinakamabilis na platform? You look at the value of the research. I mean, congratulations to your research team, Mariah, no, when they recommended ASEN when it was trading at 2 pesos. Napakagaling. So, on top of that, syempre, yung continuous education din. Because the brokers, they don't stop cultivating their clients at the moment na nagbukas ng account sa kanila eh. Because after they have converted the client, they still continue to develop the client through education. And the brokers do this. They continue to give seminars, webinars, and a lot of idea generation for their clients. Para syempre, at the end of the day, kung yung clients nila happy doon sa investment journey, doon sa trading journey nila, they keep on transacting with the same broker. Now, in the advent of further digitalization, yung mga assets natin are becoming digital. You have the NFTs, the tokens coming up. Of course, in the future, we're hoping that mas maging accessible pa to more investors. But right now, what we can do is really wait for these products to further develop. In most markets, including ours, we don't have the rules yet governing these products. So at the end of the day, if you're an investor, a retail investor, ang una mong tatakbuhan is your broker. Sa kanila ka magtatanong ano bang magandang investment for me? Because that is what they do at the first step, when you open an account with them, kikilalanin kayo ng broker ninyo. Trabaho nila yan eh. They will find out your personality, what your goals are, and they will do their best to give you the advice that will fit your personality and your investment goals. And as long as the brokers keep on doing this, I think they won't go wrong.
Right. So speaking of helping or providing the best services to our investors, Mariah, what do you have to say about To Trade Asia being that role player in the industry and really offering the best services that we can for the investors? What do you have to say, Mariah?
Okay. To focus on this one, I have to discuss our delivery methods. So basically, To Trade Asia is the very first online trading platform in the country. But in our goals, in all of our meetings, in all of our thinking sessions, we never once stopped at the idea that we are the first because we wanted to be the best. And for us to be able to be the best, we have to provide our clients with the best. So I agree with the points of Sir John that we continuously innovate. Before, sa To Trade Asia, we're just online, like we're just web-based. Now, we're on mobile, we're on tablet, wherever you go, we are there. And then, you need guidance kasi you're trading, you cannot focus much on your trading kasi you're busy with other things. So we're there too. We have conditional order systems. What I'm trying to say is that we at To Trade Asia, we're doing the best that we could by maximizing the technology that is available to us. At the end of the day, kayo na lang yung kulang. So this is the best time for you to invest. And I hope that we'll see you here in To Trade Asia.
Right. So it's not about being the first, it's about being the best. Now, before we proceed to the Q&A, as of course, we want to get questions from the audience as well, let's discuss the results of our first poll right over here. So, all right. When it comes to retail trading, do you prefer being in full control or being assisted? 45% said that they prefer being in full control and 55% prefer being assisted. Okay, so majority talaga want assistance when it comes to that. But as mentioned by John earlier, it's good that you're in full control, but at the same time, it helps when you do have assistance, especially from a broker like To Trade Asia. So, okay, so again, we have a few questions for our speakers coming from our audience who are very much live here in our Facebook page. So shout out to everyone tuned in tonight. But before that, we would like to thank our sponsor, to Trade Asia for giving one of our lucky viewer a chance to win 25,000 pesos as a starting fund. So all you have to do is to like and follow Project Ripple and to Trade Asia on Facebook. Second step is to share this live on your public timeline. And third, register by clicking the link in the comment section. So again, like, share, and register. Okay, so for our first question, okay, we have from J. Ives Besario. He said, where would financial literacy fit into a student's education? How early should they know about investments and its nuances? So perhaps we can start with Tito G since he's the one on the forefront of financial literacy. Go ahead, Tito G.
So, siguro as a student, no, it's the earlier sa investment kasi yan naman ang rule no. The earlier na mag-start ka, the better, di ba? The younger you are, the better, no. When it comes also to kasi investment takes and involves risk no. When you are younger, you can take a lot of risk, no. Pwede ka magkamali kasi you have time to recoup it no. So siguro yung iba may mga followers tayo na estudyante pa lang, nagsisimula na mag-trade. Kaya nakakatuwa na merong mga sabi ko nga nung ganung edad ako nagka-counter strike ako So sila ngayon pumipindot na ng buy and sell orders. So siguro as early as sa college pwede na or high school no, yung mga senior high pwede na nating turuan ito no. And para ma-experience nila yung lahat ng klase no ng stocks dito sa PSE no, yung tatlo diniscuss ni Miss Maraya. And then they later on they can decide ano yung bagay sa kanila. Anong mga klaseng stocks dito na where can I make most of money, di ba? Para later on pagka they are earning na, they are working or may business sila, alam na nila kung saan nila ilalagay yung pera nila no. So as early as possible, senior high school, I think pwede nang turuan talaga.
Okay, so the earlier the better. Now, speaking of learning about investments and of course its nuances, a lot of undergraduates are actually already aware and encouraged to invest in the stock market, as mentioned by Bulo Sehi here in our comment section. So this may be a question for John, since you are the head of education then. When they get to enjoy huge gains, there is a risk of losing focus on their main occupation, which is to study and to graduate, since yun naman talagang ginagawa ng mga students. Do you think this is an issue of priority also? What do you have to say about that, John? Hi, John, you're on mute.
Yeah, good question, Bulo. No, it's a matter of knowing your priorities. Because at the end of the day, estudyante ka pa din, no? Yung scenario kasi dito, students na nag-e-enjoy sa trading, kumikita na, baka hindi na mag-aral, mag-trade na lang, ano? It's an issue potentially, pero kasi at the end of the day, we have to instill sa minds nila na trading or investing in stocks is just part of your series of income streams. Yesterday I had a session sa BSP where we talked about personal finance and investments. Si Rex Mendoza, who was also a co-panelist in the session, he said that you need to have multiple streams of income. And in the multiple streams of income, you can categorize them into two. Passive and active income. Now, yung active income, this is your profession, your business, what you do every day, you put an effort into it. Okay? Now, yung dito sa stocks naman, yung pag-i-invest niyo sa stocks, it will fall under passive income. So, nandyan yung mga capital gains nyo, dividends, etc. So, when we educate the kids, no, we try to tell them about these things, growing their income, having multiple streams of income, saving, and then eventually investing. Hindi kasi natin pwedeng i-leapfrog na diretso sa investing agad. Kaya nga, kung babalik ako dun sa unang question, gaano ba dapat ka bata, when we start educating the kids? Ako, I believe, kapag nakakaintindi na sila, when they know how to count, when they know how to read, when they know how to converse with you, you can start. It starts with the home. Kung tinuro sa akin ng parents ko before, yung mag-ipon If I can save a portion of my allowance, and then may ipon ko yan and I can buy something nice sa birthday ko or sa Christmas. Something like this, no? You can teach the very basics of savings muna and then investing eventually. So it's a matter of giving that culture na or instilling that culture sa mga bata, yung delayed gratification, yung you work hard now and then you reap the benefits of your efforts today. So hindi mawawala yung importance ng pag-aaral doon na mag-aral ka, no? Wag mong kalimutan 'yan. Wag mong ihinto ang pag-aaral mo. And you can invest, you can trade while you're studying, pero wag mong tatalikuran ng studies mo because it's gonna be part of your future. So, is it going to be an issue? Depende on how you educate the kids. If you miss on educating the kids and natuto sila sa sarili nila without these values instilled sa kanila, then potentially it's an issue. Pero again, as titos and titas, pwede nating proteksyonan yung mga bata sa pagdating sa ganyan.
I agree. I mean, especially nowadays when people are focused on growing their wealth, putting it in the markets or investing in this and that. But the biggest gain would be in investing in yourself first and covering the basics of personal finance before going into the growing of wealth. But is there anything you'd like to add, Mariah, with that question to help Bulo out here?
Okay, so I'll blend the two questions actually. So for the first question, actually what I did, since my father already passed away, I taught my sisters early. So our youngest, I taught her at 12. So right now she's already 16. She's quite familiar with all the markets already. So actually kapag may examinations ako for certification sa mga licensure, siya yung nagre-review sa akin kasi naiintindihan niya, ate mali ka. 'Di ba dapat pag bonds ganito? So talagang, and now, talagang I can see the fruits of my labor para at least in the future hindi ako mag-worry na mama-manage niya ba, makakasabay ba siya. And then the same thing goes with my other sisters. Yung two sisters ko na graduating na, ang ginawa ko silang intern dito sa Trade Asia para they know how it works. They're gonna graduate with the business degrees para they know that investing is like this behind the scenes. Like the whole bird's eye view of things. But to answer the question of Bulo, I think it strikes close to home kasi I started trading, nag-aaral pa kasi ako. Pero ang ginawa ko noon, eto naman, nasa law school na, I found myself constantly trading sa back ng class habang nagre-recitation sa law school, and this is true. So, during that time, ang nangyari was, I got to know myself better. That's why, nakompleto ko yung yung 3 H's, the head, the heart, and the hand. Kaya lang dito sa question niya, may kulang Alam niya kung ano yung tinitrade niya, kumikita siya, all right. Ang problema, wala siyang management ng emotions niya, kaya siya nadidistract. Ako naman, in my case, what I could advise is dapat ma-master niyo rin yung third part, wherein yung behavioral side, psychological side of things, kasi that governs trading as well. So as for me naman, how did I end up? Well, I told you that I mastered the tree. It's part of my profession. I have to, or at least I have to try. I cannot totally say that I've mastered it. I've tried. Every single day I wake up, I try. So, anong nangyari? Because I know myself more, I knew that I have to drop out of law school and pursue being a stockbroker. Kaya pagdating sa regulations, ang tinatanong talaga usually dito, Mariah, tama ba? Compliant ba? Mariah, ganito, because of law school. And then I went into stockbrokering. So there. Again, guys, don't forget the 3 things. You have to know what's happening. You have to execute what's happening. But after everything has been said and done, you have to take care of everything by managing yourself.
Pero Mariah, you didn't lose focus, You just learned to really know yourself more. Na
Exactly.
you're not going to be a lawyer, but you're more of a stock trader, 'di ba?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly, because I have the mastery of yung third part, at least the third part. Na I was able to master my emotions enough to know what I really need to do in life. Okay.
Yeah, but thank you for sharing us your story, Mari. It explains why you're so eloquent, and it really helps that all you 3 speakers here are here to enlighten our viewers, especially our Gen Zs tuning in. So I think we have a number of Gen Zs and also millennials tuning in to learn more from all of you. So thank you very much. That ends our restart segment, and thank you to everyone who participated. Especially to our speakers and of course the commenters here. So this is the moment that you've all been waiting for. and it's the raffle draw. So let's see who's the lucky winner, bringing in the bag of 25,000 pesos care of Two Trade Asia. So we have a wheel of names that we're about to spin to determine who the lucky winner is. Ayan. Okay. Ayan na. Okay. All right. And the medyo naglalag pero ayan, okay. So our lucky winner is okay. Ito na ba siya? Ayan, congratulations to Freddy T. Corpus for winning 25,000 pesos as your starting fund. Congratulations. Ayan. Okay. So to restart our segment again, we would like to also learn a few key takeaways too for tonight's show. So we learned a lot from Mariah, from Tito G, and from John. But to summarize it, we do have a few slides to show you here. So first up is okay. So for our first key takeaway, we have from John Garcia. So okay, so we learned from him that retail investors are growing in number and their role in driving the market is increasing. So, as access to the market continues to democratize and Filipinos getting more financially savvy, we can expect to see this trend continue in the future. It is important to save, to do your research, and to invest with a plan. And of course, to join the PSE online community that has helped me and also other speakers here in the panel. So for our next speaker, okay, so we learned from Mariah that it is important to, for you to be confident in your investment decisions. It also lies with your conviction and how consistent you are. It's very important to execute your trades and don't let your trades execute you. So use with your head, your hands, and your heart. And of course, we are forever students, never the teacher. Okay, and from last but not the least, Tito G, we learned that with the rising numbers of retail traders being interested in the stock market, it is important to acquire the right mindset and skill set to win in this game. So, as he always says, those who never learn will never earn. I love that. Okay. So, all right. So we would like to, of course, know how we can get in touch with our speakers here. If there's anything you'd like to plug, platforms you'd like to promote, go ahead. So let's start with Mariah.
Of course, guys, don't forget to Trade Asia. If there's only one platform that I would recommend, that would be to Trade Asia. And I know that during this discussion, you would feel the heart in what I've said. Kasi I started with to Trade Asia when it's still not kilala, but now it's gaining some traction. And I'm confident, and I will always be 100% confident that we can provide you with the best products and services. At the end of the day, you just have to try us and let us take care of you.
Okay. How about you, Tito G?
Well, sa akin, I have a YouTube channel and I'm doing a morning show every day, Monday to Friday, PSE Opening Bell Live. So search nyo lang, Tito Vlogs. And I have a website, titovlogs.tv, whereby I have recorded webinars. Isa is for your mind setting na kailangan dito sa stock market. Sabi nga natin, you need the right mindset, and then yung isa yung practical charting, which is the skill set, yung very basic para mas madaling maintindihan yung charting and yung technical analysis. So titovlogs.tv.
Okay. How about you, John?
Okay, una sa lahat, I want to commend and congratulate Project Ripple. Napakaganda nitong ginagawa ninyo, and this program has been very, very successful. And to our viewers, especially those that are thinking of starting in investing, I also want to congratulate you because you're doing the right thing. You are actually in the first step to your investment journey. So if you need to get in touch with the PSE, you may email my team at academy@pse.com.ph. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. So yun, and I hope to see you around in our online sessions. Happy investing.
All right. Thank you so much to our speakers. I'm sure our viewers here have learned so much. I've learned so much from hosting this webinar as well. So I hope you guys took note of where you can get in touch with them. And again, thank you so much to our speakers for gracing us with your presence. Goodbye. Thank you. All right. Okay. So again, I'd also like to announce that you can join our community via the official Restart Facebook groups, which feature all of the three racks. So we talk about business, about wellness, and of course, creatives. So these groups offer exclusive content such as AMAs with our panelists, a lot of community webinars and workshops. So these are all free at your disposal. Do make use of it as much as possible. And of course, we'd like to thank again our sponsor, To Trade Asia. The success of the event is all because of your association and your generous contribution. And that is the end of our School of Profit series. And with everything we presented to you, we hope that you are ready to start, to sustain, and to succeed on your journey to financial freedom and to wealth. So keep that mindset and be ready to define the future of stocks and stock trading in this new reality, because as we've seen through today's live stream, the future is exciting, it's dynamic, and ever changing. So we should be too. Again, thank you to everyone for learning with us. And this has been your host, Antoinette Aquino, signing off. As always, in times of crisis, it's not game over, it's time to restart.